ॐ ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्।
Thank you, Vidya. Hari Om to all. So we are doing Mundakopanishad and today we will be starting from chapter 3, section 1, verse 7. And we are going to complete 6 verses. Today, 4 of section 1 and 2 of section 2. So what are the highlights till now quickly? We are dealing with one question in Mundakopanishad. What is that? By knowing which I will know everything. That everything is about Aparavidya. Because Aparavidya means multiplicity, variety, plurality. And Paravidya is about one. What is that one? Paravidya is the knowledge of the imperishable. How to know? We have to go to a teacher who is Brahmanishta, Kshotriya, and then do what? I have to first understand the Akshar attributes. What is that imperishable attributes? That is the main point in Upanishad. When we are learning Upanishad, we have to actually collect those who are studiously learning, writing and contemplating all the attributes. I must write on one page with the meaning and then keep contemplating. And then all the time, as Guruji says, this is my nature. This is my nature. If we keep doing it, then it is going to help us in our sadhana. And then practice spiritual archery. What is spiritual archery? That I have to use. There are many techniques. One technique given in this Upanishad is the bow is the Upanishadic knowledge of Om. The arrow is the mind. And when we keep chanting Om with a particular Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Ekagrata, that is very important. That mind will go and get absorbed in Brahman. So what will get absorbed? The reflected consciousness gets absorbed in the real consciousness. And that is given by the analogy or metaphor of two birds. So what is bird number 1? Bird number 1 is Jiva. Bird number 2 is the Ishvara here. And bird number 1 keeps telling, I understand, I don't understand, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm old, I'm young, I'm bound, I will be liberated. And the bird 2, that is the Ishvara or Paramatma, that bird will keep observing and keep saying inside, I know. So that knowing part, I know I understand, I know I don't understand, I know I'm happy, I know I'm sad. So that I know is that knowledge, that knowing is beyond what is happening to the bird one. That is the main understanding of the two eyes. And then develop four qualities that we saw in the last session: Satya, Tapa, Samyak, Jnana, and Brahmacharya. Out of that, Satya is highlighted more. What is Satya? Many pointers. So, at least one sadhana we must take when we listen to any Upanishad or Shastra, that there must be congruence between my thought, word, and deed. One sadhana that is called as Satya. Then I will seek truth, not untruth. I will be not so upset, agitated, irritated by untruth, because then, when we are learning Upanishad, we know Nitya, Anitya, Vistu, Viveka, and still I get upset by untruth. I still get upset what is happening in the movie. So definitely it is foolishness that we know it is a movie. Or else we have to go back and check whether my understanding is clear. Whether really have started believing and being convinced that there is a distinction between truth, untruth, permanent, impermanent, etc. What is the result? Atma Krida Atmarati. It's a very beautiful description of a realized person. What that means: total fulfillment and accomplishment of being human. Because this is the only possibility for a human being, not to even God, goddesses, animals, insects, plants. So suppose we are not able to accomplish, then at least our life must go in building these competencies, building these qualities. Know for sure, truth alone wins. Satyameva Jayate. This is a famous verse comes in this. And definitely we are going to win. And what is winning? We will attain our own abode. I will realize my own self. Now the description of what is the abode comes, because suppose tomorrow you come to me and say that my house is like this, I've got a palace, and in that palace this is like this, like this, like this. Definitely I would like to come and see how is the palace, how is your house, how is your abode. So now the next verse is about description about the Brahman, Akshara Tattva, imperishable Tattva as such. So Vidya, can we chant the seventh verse twice?
Yeah. बृहच्च तद्दिव्यमचिन्त्य रूपम् सूक्ष्माच्च तत्सूक्ष्मतरं विभाति दूरात् सुदूरे तदिहान्तिके च पश्यत्स्विहैव निहितं गुहायाम् बृहच्च तद्दिव्यमचिन्त्य रूपम् सूक्ष्माच्च तत्सूक्ष्मतरं विभाति दूरात् सुदूरे तदिहान्तिके च पश्यत्स्विहैव निहितं गुहायाम्.
As Gurudev says, for Bhagavad, for Puran, there are many, many listeners. For Gita, there are less. For Upanishad, you can see first class, there are 45. Now there are 20. I don't know how many are there. I didn't check. So why is that? Because this world is full of Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha, light, temptation. But here, as it comes in Bhagavad Gita, here, there is no light. It is not lit by the Surya light, moon light. It cannot be seen, it cannot be touched, it cannot be tasted. So it seems a little, different. And that's the reason there are few takers. Actually, from deep within, I must ask that really I want Brahman. Really I want God. Really I want this abode. Because I have spoken about this to many people. Some people, not many, they say, no, no, this world is nice. Some happiness, sadness is there. But, I alone am Brahman, it will be boring because I'll be alone. There is no Dvaita there. Dvaita में मजा आता है, थोड़ा fighting होता है. But Dvaita is nice. This is what I had a discussion. So here now we can see what is that truth. That truth which I am seeking. And we should ask all the time, do I want this? Do I really want this? Do I really from deep within want this? This question is very important, not that I am asking. This question is going to be the main point in the next verses what are going to come. Because finally, Mundakopanishad is going to say that even if you know all this thing, chant, you know all the meaning, you know you have done brahmacharya, tapas, you are not going to get it. You are going to get this if you really want it from deep within. So, how is that? Bruhat, vast. How much vast? Biggest. Brihatvat is Brahman. All pervading, limitless, boundless. So, what does this indicate? Technically, it means it has no limitation of time, object, space. TOS means time, object, space. What is it indicating? Pure existence, Sat. And no limitation of time, object, space means all limitation is equal to sorrow. Any sorrow or suffering what I am having in this life, technically, if I am reading Vedanta and understanding Vedanta, I can draw a dotted and straight line to some limitation of physical. If there is physical limitation, people are sorrowful. If there is relationship, people are sorrowful. Financial limitation, physical limitation, love limitation. There is some limitation I am experiencing, which I am calling as problem or sorrow. So Vedanta describes that any problem or suffering is the product of some limitation, and Brahman, this is Bruhatvat, limitless. So one question would come, whatever description you are giving, vast, all pervading, not limited by time, object, space, is it space? No, it is not space, because next comes Divyam. So how this Upanishad actually describes, because the moment you say that, I will say it is space, because all this is applicable to space. But so again, next comes Divyam, means self-luminous, Chit, consciousness is described. Because that this Brahman is self-conscious, awareness. Oh, I understand because of consciousness. When I say I understand, that understanding is coming because of consciousness. Because there is awareness, that awareness is equal to knowing. So can I understand? Suppose I say immediately Mundakopanishad will say, no, actually you cannot understand because it is Achintya Rupam. Some people say, I have understood all Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, I have understood. Immediately it is saying, no, you cannot understand because it is beyond all understanding. It is Anchintya Rupam. So never I must say I have understood because it is not a object of understanding. Why? Because mind can know only objects which has words, name, form, and Atma is the subject. How can it be understood? It is not understood by the mind, senses, intellect, imagination, memory. Because mind is finite, Atma is infinite. Finite cannot know infinite. Can I see it? Can I experience it? No. So as Swamiji mentioned, some people in meditation experiences some sound, some smell, something. So that is all part of experience. It comes and goes. Because the experiencer is more important than the experience. Why? Because sukshmataram is subtler than the subtlest. How can you say? Because it is the cause of everything. We have seen in earlier mantras of Mundakopanishad that this imperishable Brahman is the cause of perishable world universe. And how many universes are there? Infinite. Infinite Brahmandas, and for each Brahmanda there is one Brahman. And still, Ashcharya is that I think I am unique. Everybody thinks biggest joke is everything. Everybody thinks I am unique. No, there are infinite Brahmandas, infinite Brahmas, all these things are going on and on. This is not the first time Mundakopanishad class is going on online. So many classes would have happened. That way I reduce self-significance. How? It is Durat Sudure. Farther than the farthest. And this is mentioned for the ignorant, Brahman and God is far off. For a knowledgeable person, it is inside itself. I am that. How many kilometers far? No distance between myself and Atma. So why this contradictory are coming? Just to tell us one important factor, that when we start learning Upanishad, we start objectifying Atma and say, I understood it. Then found where? If it is so close. Iya antike, here and now within me it is there for the wise. Where within? Nihitam Guhayam. So how beautifully Mundakopanishad has explained this. That it is vast, that means Sat. It is Divyam, that means it is consciousness. It is Achintya Rupam, it is beyond understanding. Why? Because it is Sukshmat. And it is far off for the ignorant, but for the wise, it is here and now. And Nihitam Guhayam, in the cave of the heart. And that heart here is not physical heart, but Buddhi, because Brahman reflects clearly in the Buddhi. And how can I know? Because it shines by itself. It is self-luminous. Now we are going to see, later on in one verse, we will see technical reason why again and again this is mentioned, because we don't catch this sometimes. Why again and again it mentions about shine, self-luminous. We will see what is the reason, technical reason for that. And I am that. So know this one and know everything. What is to be known? That. Tattvamasi. That thou art. So how to realize this? Vidya, can we read twice 8?
Yeah. न चक्षुषा गृह्यते नापि वाचा नान्यैर्देवैस्तपसा कर्मणा वा ज्ञानप्रसादेन विशुद्धसत्त्वः ततस्तु तं पश्यते निष्कलं ध्यायमानः न चक्षुषा गृह्यते नापि वाचा नान्यैर्देवैस्तपसा कर्मणा वा ज्ञानप्रसादेन विशुद्धसत्त्वः ततस्तु तं पश्यते निष्कलं ध्यायमानः.
Very beautiful, Vidya. Very nice. So what has been mentioned, that na chakshusha gruhyate na api vacha. It is not possible to know by eyes and by any other senses. Daiva here means the illuminating factor, senses, not the god, goddesses. And why it cannot be known? Very, 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 very important point, because it cannot be objectified. And this I have to note it down, those who are writing, because normally when we read scripture, we objectify knowingly, unknowingly Brahman, Atma, because it becomes a concept. Visargatta Maharaj says one of the challenge for spiritual seekers who are well read, in meditation only these words will come and my mind will not go beyond words. Because I can know the definition of Atma, Panchakoshatitaha, Avasthatraya Sakshihi, Sthula Sukshma Karanak Sharira Vyatiriktam, Satchitananda Iti Atma. So these all words will come, but the mind has to go beyond these words. Na api vacha cannot be described, conceived by language, as speech can only. This is a very interesting thing. Speech can only describe what? Suppose we ask ourselves from morning to evening, for last 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, whatever life we have led, what we have been talking. We can only talk about 5 things. So next time this is a homework, sadhana. Because this is a very beautiful concept. When we are talking to somebody else, or somebody else is talking to us, either of these 5 the person is describing or talking. What are these 5? Either we are talking about somebody's name, he's like that, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma fight, and now something, some handshake didn't happen. Either we are talking about form. Taj Mahal is so beautiful. I went there, but it was not so good. This house is nice. That person is old. That person is young. That is all form. Or we are talking about somebody else's relationship or my relationships. Or some activity we are talking. Or we are talking guna. quality. So next time, this is a homework for this week, that I have to catch myself talking to somebody and see what I was talking. I was talking about name or form or some activity what I did in the last week. No, no, morning I did breakfast. In that I had read something and I cooked something. I am talking about activity. And then breakfast came out so nicely. I'm talking about guna. Or it was not so nice. It is about guna. And Brahman cannot be described because Brahman is beyond five. Now, very important point. But since so many months I have been learning Upanishad, now I am learning Mundakopanishad, I have done Ishavasya, Amrutabindu, Taittiriya Upanishad, Mandukya, this Upanishad, and you are saying it cannot be described, then what is this Upanishad describing? So now I have to pay attention and we have to learn what is the Upanishadic language. It is unique. If we know this, we know how to read Upanishad and understand Upanishad, there will not be any questions. And all Upanishad uses this kind of format. So, how can you say that it cannot be described? Because Upanishad is doing that only. It is giving description of Brahman, Atma in words. Upanishad only points out Brahman through implied meaning, not direct meaning. Tattvamasi is implied. No, that Brahman. So it is implied that through contradictory examples, further than the farthest, nearer than the nearest, contradictory in coming in one sentence, through negative words, neti neti, Brahman is not Panchakosha, Brahman is not Avastha, Brahman is not Sharira, and through analogies, two birds. So those who have done Lakshanas, then they must remember what are the different Lakshanas. And then one will come Swarupa Lakshana, but best Lakshanas to understand Brahman is actually a negative definition. Because something which is infinite cannot be described with its Swarupa Lakshana. Less clearly, more clearly are the negative Lakshanas. So suppose I want to know myself, I have to start the journey by knowing who I am not. It cannot be attained by tapasare, but last verse you told it is four qualities. What are the four qualities? Satya, tapas, brahmacharya, samyak jnana. Now again it is contradicted. No, no, it cannot be attained by tapas. No, no, it cannot be attained by any activity. No, no, morning I get up, then do meditation, then go to ashram and listen. Then 9 o'clock, even though I am sleepy, I come and do. It's an activity. So what are these four qualifications mentioned earlier in the earlier verse? Satyam, Samyak Jnanam, Tapasa, Brahmacharya, these are preparatory means. These are preparatory means for Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Ekagrata. But this means cannot be the cause of attaining Brahman because Brahman is beyond any content of mind. I'll repeat, Brahman is beyond any content and quality of the mind. Now, Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Ekagrata, we say are the means, but Brahman is unaware of whether Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Ekagrata mind is there. Brahman is not dependent on the quality of the mind. Then how Brahman is attained? By Jnana Prasadena. Through understanding that self-knowledge. Through Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasanam. So now we understand that it is paradoxical, contradictory, but now we understand why again and again every Upanishad will come to this point. It will explain and then it will say that it is not possible by this, but it is possible by intellect. And the next verse we are going to see how it is possible by the intellect. When Vishuddha Sattva and Nishkalam, when the mind and intellect becomes pure, subtle and clear and meditates, Dhyayamana, Adi Shankaracharya says, a beautiful example in Bhashya here that how it will be known by how the real sun reflects in still clean water. He gives an example. How he gives another example how in a clean mirror, clear mirror, we can see our reflection very clearly. In the same way, when the mind and intellect is pure, still, clean, the Brahman will reflect their maximum. And where the ignorance is located? In the buddhi itself. Pashyate, one knows that one, knowing which one will know everything. But who will know? What will know? Buddhi will know, mind will know, body will know, what will know? So the next is, what is that entity will know that I am Brahman? So Vidya, can we chant twice the ninth verse?
एषोऽणुरात्मा चेतसा वेदितव्यः यस्मिन् प्राणः पञ्चधा संविवेश प्राणैश्चित्तं सर्वमोतं प्रजानां यस्मिन् विशुद्धे विभवत्येष आत्मा एषोऽणुरात्मा चेतसा वेदितव्यः यस्मिन् प्राणः पञ्चधा संविवेश प्राणैश्चित्तं सर्वमोतं प्रजानां यस्मिन् विशुद्धे विभवत्येष आत्मा.
Very nice. Just now you said that it is beyond senses, beyond mind, intellect, beyond intellect, and now again you are saying that it can be known by the intellect. So those foreigners who came and read this on their own, and those people who read Upanishad on their own without Shankar Bhashya, without Swamiji mentioning, becomes very difficult to grasp if I take one verse and start taking literal meaning in Sanskrit. Where we will know in this body itself, which is functioning through 5 pranas. This body is basically functioning through 5 pranas. These 5 pranas are functioning and doing one function. I think I am doing everything. No, I am not doing actually anything. The blood is circulated by one prana, the digestion happening is by another prana, the excretion is happening by another prana, the udana, the uchki, or the prana goes, the jiva goes from one body to another body by udana prana, that the samana is maintaining. And then Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says that Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva, I am sitting and digesting everything, and still I feel that I am doing everything. So where will I know this? Earlier you said subtle Atma is inconceivable, beyond words and description. Now you say Atma is known in the light of the intellect. Chetasa, how? How can you say that? This is very, very important because this is only possible for human beings. And that's the reason it is evolution of the mind or intellect. So what is intellect function? Discrimination. A thought basically divides. And that's the reason in deep sleep there is no thought. So it is pradhyana ghana, Mundakopanishad says. Ghana means homogeneity. So what is the function of a thought? It has to divide. So intellect can know Atma. How? It can know Atma? It can know Atma by knowing very clearly what Atma is not. Intellect cannot know Atma, but intellect can know what? What Atma is not, what self is not, what Brahman is not. So once this job is done by the intellect, Atma shines, Vibhavati, by itself. So that is how the intellect will know. Why this discrimination is needed? Because intellect is right now, my intellect is identified with thoughts, feelings, sensations, perceptions of outside and sensations inside. Perceptions is happening between senses and sense object. And that when the perception happens, it creates sensation in the body, feelings in the mind. And the thought identifies with, they say, I am sad, I am happy, I understand, I don't understand. So right now the intellect is identified with BMI. And when this intellect disidentifies, intellect means mana buddhi chitta ahankar, the ahankar part, disengages with body, mind, intellect. It remains alone without any thought, sensation, perceptions, feeling. In that state, the Brahman reflects. Brahman is reflecting all the time. But right now in my intellect, in my memory, in my mind, world is reflecting. Sometimes I must sit quietly, close my eyes and ask this question. Who all are occupying my mind? There will be family members, there will be some neighbors, there will be some office people, there will be all these kind of people who are not necessary, but they are having not giving any rent, but still occupying full in my mind. No rent they are paying, mind belongs to me, but they are occupying my mind. And if anger comes about one person, then that person to owns my mind. Or some objects are occupying, or some situations are occupying, or some experiences of the past are occupying, or basically our mind is occupied by lack of something. Whatever I have, Guruji says, the surest way to be miserable and feel miserable is to focus on lack. What I lack in life. I have got 100 things, but that I am not focusing on. So how to purify Vishuddhe? By Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasanam. Again and again. What I have to do? Shravan mean what are the attributes of Brahman and say, I am this Brahman, I am this Brahman, I am this Brahman. Atma reflects Vibhavat Tesha in pure subtle body. So Atma is all pervading. Sunlight is all pervading, but it reflects on the mirror. We take this example very clearly in Druk Drishya Vivek that suppose there is a building. In that building, sunlight is falling on the wall, but the sunlight we cannot see. But the moment one glass is there, or a window is there, or a mirror is there, the sunlight is fully reflected there. So, where Brahman is reflected the most? In our intellect. So, Nisargadatta Maharaj or Ramana Maharshi's process is what? Focus on I am. I am maximum reflection of Brahman happens, and that is a gateway for real I am. Gurudev describes in this book, if you read the commentary of Gurudev, you will say what is the moment of realization? The ignorance cloud is removed from the mind and sun emerges and shines. These are only words because sun is already there. When the cloud goes away, the sun is already there shining. In the same way, when the ignorance, avidya goes, Spurati Rut Swayam, the Atma is already all pervading, shining, self-luminous. And as Swamiji mentioned, we must not be gatherers of knowledge. There are some people who are gatherers of knowledge. One text after another text. This, Sanskrit grammar, this, that. But I must be keen on experiencing the knowledge what is given in Mundakopanishad here and now available with me. So as Swamiji mentioned, because this is a further portion coming, that we must avoid the danger of become gatherers of knowledge. We must taste. If you go to Swanubhuti Vatika, this particular topic comes, gatherers of honey and tasters of honey. So what is the result of knowledge? Two topics here. Gurudev describes secret of success, and one topic definitely, one faith, one guide, one hold, one anchor we must have, that is the enlightened persons. That person can guide us and hold our hand and destroy our ignorance and always warn us that you are going beyond the path what you are walking. Yeah, Vidya.
यं यं लोकं मनसा संविभाति विशुद्धसत्त्वः कामयते यांश्च कामान् तं तं लोकं जयते तांश्च कामान् तस्मादात्मज्ञं ह्यर्चयेद्धूतिकामः यं यं लोकं मनसा संविभाति विशुद्धसत्त्वः कामयते यांश्च कामान् तं तं लोकं जयते तांश्च कामान् तस्मादात्मज्ञं ह्यर्चयेद्धूतिकामः.
So whatever we want, material or spiritual, an enlightened master is capable of giving both. That is the main topic in this. And the secret of success is given in material and success in the spiritual world both. So what is the process to attain success? There has to be number one, intense, clear desire. So I must ask myself that how badly I need God, Brahman self. It is a part-time spiritual curiosity, or now it has become a desire. And what is the intensity of desire? Low, medium, intense. Then once that desire will come for playing cricket, learning music, or seeking Atma, I will start working towards it. Purification will happen. I will give up lot many things for and focus on only that activity. Those who learn music, those who learn dance, reach till Arangetram, 8 years intense of practice. So many tapas they do just because they have to dance for and reach that particular level. So Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Ekagrata and concentration of thought, feelings, words, deeds. And then the fulfillment of desire happens. This is a normal process, whether it is a goal, material goal or spiritual goal, either of this. So now here glorification of a jnani is given. Why people go for taking Ashirvad of a Mahatma, whether somebody's marriage is there in the house or I want spiritual enlightenment, people will go to a Mahatma. Why? Because enlightened must be adored by all. Why? A jnani or an enlightened person has no desire. Because there is no sense of lack, is full. Because the jnani or enlightened person has attained, accomplished and gained everything what is to be gained in this universe, in all universes. So when we go to this person, what happens actually? That person can get anything what that person wants and can give anything, everything to devotees what the devotees want. This is the secret of the Mahatmas given here. So if we are asking something for God from God and Guru, and if we are not getting it, that means I must say myself that I am lucky because that God or Guru doesn't want to give me that because in that is my Shreya. So there was one monk who used to always pray, Bhagwan, don't give me anything what I want. Bhagwan, don't give me anything what I want. Bhagwan, don't give me anything what I want. So one person, people went, what are you praying? Normally we go to temple to ask. He says, no, this is loudly I say, inside I say something else. Bhagwan, do not give me anything what I want. You give me only those things what you want to give me. And Bhagwan will give how much? That story we know that one child went and asked chocolates, chocolates from a shopkeeper. And the shopkeeper told him that you take however number you want. The child was not taking for 10 minutes. And the shopkeeper told, why you are not taking? No, you give. And then the shopkeeper gave two handful and he took his shirt and then took all the chocolates. Then shopkeeper asked him, how come I told you to take from the bottle, you didn't take? No, my hands are small. So I would have taken only 4 chocolates because in your hand 10 chocolates came. So we are stupid people. We go to God and Guru and ask, I want this, I want this, I want this. They will give. They will give. And not that they will give. Now you have to remember this secret. Vivekananda always used to say this in his scriptures that who are we? We are Brahman. Whatever we are desiring, it is going to come in manifestation. Be aware. When I went first time to Siddhabadi, I have told many, many times, but I remember still now. First camp with Gurudev and once I was sitting in front of, people. And he said, whatever you desire here, it will come true. And suddenly, be aware. So actually I have to become very aware. What am I desiring? Because it is going to come true. This life, next life, it is going to come true. So we should ask whether whatever I am desiring, it is going to cut short my time of enlightenment, it is going to elongate my time of enlightenment. One day I was going with Swami Swatmananji on that Narmada Parikrama. I was going for a couple of days. We were seeing one beautiful tree and we were discussing how many years old. Somebody told it will be 200, 300 years old. He told, don't think so much of the tree. Next time, suppose you become tree, then 300 years are gone. 300 years gone. So what is Jnani's vision? One in all in one. World is there, body, it has been said. So when we go to a Mahatma, he cannot give us enlightenment. He can if we are ready. If we are ready, like Vivekananda, Swami Chinmayananda went to Ramana Maharshi, just one look, gone into Samadhi. Either Mahatma beats us also and tells, stand on, you are Brahman, still we are crying, Gurudev used to say. And they are Satya Sankalpayanama. One thought which comes in their mind has to manifest. One of the name of Gurudev when we chant is Om Satya Sankalpaya Namaha. That is one name because whatever consciously, unconsciously went to South, Coimbatore, no water there. And they were showing this land we have bought. And then one glass of water was, he drank one, then spat. And he said, who said there is no water? He was joking. But when Amma marked that space and dug into that space, and then there was water discovered in that entire mountain because even a word comes from their mouth, it has to come true. So when we go to these Mahatmas, we have to be careful. भगवान शादी के होते दो बच्चे होने दो जॉब होने दो तो और 4 लाइफ चला गया उसमें when we give or feed or worship enlighten one it reaches entire creation because who are they Brahman. What is the secret now? As Gurudev gives, master's grace plus self effort is equal to success. And that's the reason why a guru is required in this because when a guru is there and we are really putting self effort, it will catch 4 times the speed. So here the first section is over. Let us read first verse. Result and means is given here. First and second both are related, but we can go one by one. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes extra because Swamiji has completed second verse also. Yeah, Vidya.
तृतीयमुण्डकम् द्वितीयः खण्डः स वेदैतत्परमं ब्रह्म धाम यत्र विश्वं निहितं भाति शुभ्रम् उपासते पुरुषं ये हि अकामाः तेषु क्रमे तदतिवर्तन्ति धीराः स वेदैतत्परमं ब्रह्म धाम यत्र विश्वं निहितं भाति शुभ्रम् उपासते पुरुषं ये हि अकामाः तेषु क्रमे तदतिवर्तन्ति धीराः.
Earlier it was mentioned that if you want prosperity and go to a Mahatma, he will give you prosperity. And suppose I have no karma except this, then that Mahatma will bless us with Nishkama. So what is the result? When you know the Supreme Brahman as yourself, everything is known. What is my real nature? Brahman attributes are given in the first verse. Paramam, supreme, beyond. Supreme means what? It is beyond time, space and object. Whenever supreme comes, that means it has to be beyond something. And Dhamma, that is a final abode. This is, we are here on this planet only as a guest for some time. That is our abode. How it is on this, the world rests. So, knowing this abode, I know everything. And how it is, Bhati shines. Again, it has come. And how it is, Shubhram and pure and radiant. Because I am the substratum of everything, I know everything. See, when we come to this world and we are not knowing Vedanta, I think I am one small bechara person on this planet. What can I do? But here Vedanta says, no, no, no. You are the creator of your own universe. This entire universe is created by you. Because Brahmaji reports to Brahman, Narayana. So I am the creator of my own universe and all these universes. So by knowing this, I know everything. Result of sitting near. This is very interesting, important to note. Upasate here given. So we know Upanishad. So Upasate means result of going near an enlightened master. Where is the master sitting? Not in the body, not in personality, not in some ashram, Pavai ashram, not in a role that is a Swami, but the master is sitting in Brahman as Brahman. So earlier mentioned, when you sit near an enlightened master, you will get prosperity in the last verse. Now here it is mentioned, when you sit near the enlightened master, you will go beyond Shukram. Shukram means seed. Seed of what? Because of the seed we are born. And we will go beyond the birth and death cycle. And that is the goal of a human birth. That is total human fulfillment. What is the qualification required to sit near the master? Vivek and Vairagya. Fourfold qualification mentioned here. A person who goes to the master, anyone who used to go towards Ramakrishna Paramahansa, he used to say, ये तो कामिनी कांचन में अटका हुआ है, छोड़ दो. Lust and gold, he used to say. And he used to get so pleased when some used to, are you married? What are you saying? Because he used to read people. Then, ये तो ठीक है. He used to doesn't give so much of bhav to people who come with lot of desires. So what is the qualification? Vivek, Vairagya, Shata Sampatti, Mumukshvatvam. Why we don't get liberated in spite of knowing this? Yes, Vidya.
कामान्यः कामयते मन्यमानः स कामभिर्जायते तत्र तत्र पर्याप्तकामस्य कृतात्मनस्तु इहैव सर्वे प्रविलीयन्ति कामाः कामान्यः कामयते मन्यमानः स कामभिर्जायते तत्र तत्र पर्याप्तकामस्य कृतात्मनस्तु ihaiva sarve praviliyanti kamaha.
So why we are not getting liberated in spite of knowing this and listening to so many Upanishads, etc. In one word, the answer is desire. The root cause of misery is what? Brooding, manyamana, that leads to desire. Kamayate. And what is the desire for? Object of desire, kaman. Now, those who are listening to this, why Gita is called as Upanishatsu, this is what exactly is mentioned in Dhyayato Vishayan Punsa. Sangat Sanjayate Kamat Kamat Krodho Vijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha Sammohat Smruti Branchat Buddhi Nasha. But where it starts? It doesn't start with desire, it starts with brooding. So I must sit quietly and ask, what am I thinking when there is no pressure, when I am alone? The problem is desire, not the objects of desires. Very important point. Otherwise, I say I am today actually because I am in family, there is a lot of temptation. No. The problem is desire, not the objects. What is the desire definition? Scheme in the mind to get rid of my sense of incompletion in future. Because I have some sense of lack, I want to complete it. And I believe that it will be completed by either situation, object, or a person. There is one natural desire. What is that natural desire? I want limitless, permanent, unbroken happiness. Suppose you ask people, do you want to be happy? Yes. When? Always. Where? Everywhere. Not touch wood kind of happiness. And what is a acquired desire? I want happiness from this world. Situation, objects, people, in relationships, activity, name, form, which is changing. And what are the three desires? Kamini, Kirti, and Kanchana. Shastra mentions. Kamini means not women. Kamini means pleasure. Kanchan means not gold. Kanchan means achievement, power, fame, money, prosperity. We should be prosperous, but it becomes a desire. And the third is appreciation, fame. Why we desire three? Why we desire these three? Because of three reasons. First, I am not aware of my nature, which is Satchidananda, which is called as Avidya. Second, believe that I am body, mind, intellect. This limitedness creates this lack of incompleteness, sense of lack. And the third problem is that this world will give me happiness. Clear analysis. So as Gurudev mentioned, first is non-apprehension of reality. Second is misapprehension of reality leading to confusion in life. What is the cycle? Avidya leads to kama, kama leads to karma, karma leads to karma bandhana, and karma bandhana leads to cycle of birth. So what is the solution? In dark room, some people say I have so many desires, so many vasanas. When this actually I've heard personally, because this was my doubt when I came to this. So many desires I have, so many vasanas. And Gurudev says that in a dark room, bring light, don't shovel darkness out. One light. So what we have to do? We have to keep doing Shravan, keep doing Manan, keep doing Nidhi. Otherwise, some people say, "Arey, so many desires, so many vasanas, it will take aneka janma samprapta." No, no. I have to keep focusing on this knowledge and hold on to this knowledge. Keep these people in our contact more who are having same goal and who talk this language. So Paravidya, self-knowledge. Solution number one, keep listening. Then develop dosha dukkha buddhi towards the world. What is dosha dukkha buddhi? Simple one. Do you find dosha in cigarette? Dukkha in cigarette? Same thing, cigarette replaced with world. And then I have to let go all desires. Praviliyanti kamaha. By controlling senses and having a higher goal. Till I don't have a higher goal, these desires will come to us. And realize you are Atma, source of happiness, and be free of all desires. Sarve praviliyanti kama. Prajahati sat. In the first verse of Sita Prajna, again the same thing is given. Sarvan partha manogatan. Bhagavan says that desirelessness is the key for enlightenment. And desirelessness can be managed by nishkam, by selflessness. Note, desirelessness cannot exist by itself as it would create emptiness. Some people say that I don't have desire, but there must be a higher goal because the truth is fullness. Om Purnamada Purnamidam, that fullness is of Atma, Brahman, imperishable, Sat Chit Ananda, infinite bliss. Thank you very much. We took 13 minutes more because next time again, I think Swamiji is going to cover 3-4 verses where he is going to say about that all this Nayam Atma Pravachanana. This is my favorite verse of Mundakopanishad, one verse, many verses. Nayam Atma Pravachanana Labhyo na bhavana shrute na medhaya. Not by intelligence, not by listening to discourses, and not by knowing this technical thing, we can realize Brahman. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.